Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, in this video, we are going to continue uh, on the topic of motivation, and this is going to be the last video for this particular chapter. So, the last time we have stopped under the goal setting theory, and we have looked into the criteria in terms of pursuing for this goal setting theory. So the next theory under motivation, we are going to discuss on the learning theories. Learning theories indicate that it focuses on increasing employee motivation and performance by linking the outcomes that employees receive to the performance of desired behaviors and the attainment of goals. So in this theory, there are several approaches that a manager could take in order to enforce a particular behavior, in order for them to get whatever it is that they want. So under this theory, they talk about an operant conditioning. People learn to perform behaviors that lead to desired consequences and learn not to perform behaviors that lead to undesired consequences. So there are certain, when we want to have desired consequences, for example, bonuses and whatever, good motivational, good encouragement, good acknowledgement. So we are going to force ourselves to perform that desired behavior because those are the things that we want. And sometimes we also perform a particular behavior so that we want to avoid those undesired consequences. For example, the bosses nagging, and then in terms of getting a show cause later, and then removal of the bonuses, and so we might not want to perform or pursue that kind of behavior that would result in undesirable consequences. So under this operant conditioning, so this is one of the theory under learning theories, meaning that we learn to change our behavior under this theory. So there are four types of reinforcement. Number one, we talk about positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement gives people outcomes that they desire when they perform organizational functional behavior. So when you produce a certain level of output, you will be rewarded with a certain level of output. So this is your result performance, and then this is the reward that you are going to get. So that is a positive reinforcement. It can be in terms of monetary or non-monetary. Uh, and then number two, negative reinforcement, eliminating or removing undesired outcomes when people perform organizationally functional behavior. For example, you are required to do your assignment submission on the 9th of December. So if you do not want to listen to me nagging or listening to me being out of control or getting mad at you or whatever, and so you try to submit your assignment on the due date, and because you do not want to have that negative reinforcement. So sometimes people do the things that they need to do because they want to avoid this negative reinforcement. And then sometimes we do this because of the extinction and curtailing the performance of dysfunctional behavior by eliminating whatever is reinforcing it. Meaning to say that we uh, inform the employees if they don't perform to a certain level of expectation, they are not going to get the reward at all. And suddenly everybody is moving towards that direction. And bila kita start to gunakan imbuhan ataupun bonuses, kita akan tarik balik no bonuses, and that is part of the extinction, and we try to remove that positive rewards that we intend to give them, and then suddenly you can see the change of behavior among the employees. And then the last one is punishment. Punishment is, yes, kita administer an undesired or negative consequence when dysfunctional behavior occurs. So when they do wrong, and then we punish them. For example, after providing or giving them warning for 3 times for late arrival at work, and then we start to ask them to give us a show cause later. So that is some sort of punishment. So these are the options that organization might want to take in order for them to change the behavior of the employees. So what we need to do is that the when we talk about punishment, right, we don't punish the people, but what we are trying to punish is that we punish the emotional element involved or that dysfunctional behavior. uh Arriving late, coming late to the office and everything, we don't punish that person per se, that individually, no, but we are trying to make it clear that what we are punishing is that dysfunctional behavior. Once they can perform better, once they can change that behavior, and then we are all in good terms again. And then try to avoid punishing someone in front of others, and try to punish dysfunctional behavior as soon as they occur, because we do not want that dysfunctional behavior to become as a norm or a toxic in the organization. The systematic application of operant conditioning techniques to promote the performance of organizational functional behaviors and discourage the performance of dysfunctional behavior. So in other textbook, in previous textbook, we don't call this as we don't call this theory as operant conditioning theory, but more on organizational behavior modification theory. It is the same thing. We need to say that from this theory we learn that how and what are the approaches that we can take in order to promote functional behaviors, and what are the things that we can do in order to discourage dysfunctional behaviors in the organization. All right, so this is one of the uh, figure in this particular chapter, figure 13.4, 5 steps in organizational behavior modification. So how can we modify the behavior? Uh, so the steps: managers identify an important behavior, for example, assembling computer printers. Managers measure the frequency with which the behavior is occurring. On average, 10 printers per day. Determine if people knew whether they should be performing the behavior. Uh, and what consequences they receive when they do perform it. Workers know that they should assemble as many printers as they can per day while maintaining high quality. However, they receive the same hourly wage regardless of the number of printers that they assemble. So managers develop and apply strategy entailing the use of positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, punishment or extinction. Positively reinforce workers such that they receive $5 for each defect-free printer they assemble instead of an hourly wage. And then managers measure the frequency of the behavior. Managers determine if the problem is solved, yes or no. And then managers maintain the behavior by continuing the use of the strategy. And then they found that each workers assemble on average 14 printers per day, and then the problem solved, maintain positive reinforcement. So sometimes, yes, you can use this in terms of to change as part of behavior modification within our organization. We can use this model in order for us to get a much better performance or outcomes among our employees. The next one, we are going to talk about social learning theory. It is a theory that takes into account how learning and motivation are influenced by people's thoughts and beliefs and their observations of other people's behavior. Sometimes we are being motivated by looking at someone else. We look at how that this person perform in terms of their behaviors, in terms of their attitudes, and then we try to change and we try to do behavior modification in ourselves based on our own personal observation. So vicarious learning occurs when a person becomes motivated to perform a behavior by watching another person perform the behavior and be positively reinforced for doing so. This is also called as observational learning. We look at how someone else is performing their job, and then we become positively motivated and positively reinforce ourselves in order for us to change that particular behavior. Self-reinforcer, any desired or attractive outcome or award that a person gives himself or herself for good performance. You give yourself a treat every time when you perform a particular goal, every time when you are able to achieve a particular target. And then self-efficacy is a person's belief about his or her ability to perform or a behavior successfully. And then the bottom line is sometimes we talk about how pay and motivation is always interrelated. Sometimes, yes, we can always use money as a motivator. And so the pay as a motivator, we can include this under the equity theory, under the need, as well as under expectancy theory, because usually when we perform, when we put in a certain level of input, we expect that yes, there would be a certain level of output that would be rewarded based on our performance. And even under the need theory, we can use pay as a motivator in order to satisfy many level of needs, as well as under the equity theory. Pay also can be used as a motivator under the goal setting theory. We'll try to link the pay with the attainment of those goals. For example, like those work in the banks, if they achieve certain level of target, they will be rewarded handsomely. And then the learning theory, outcome pay are distributed upon performance of functional behavior. So under merit pay plan, compensation plan that bases pay on individual, group or organizational performance. When individual perform can be accurately measured, selalunya this one can be used under agency, under sales punya team. Sometimes they use this merit pay plan, the compensation, and then based on your individual performance. The better that you perform, the more pay that you are going to get. And then the last one, we talk about employee stock option, and this is a financial instrument that entitles the bearer to buy shares of an organization stock at a certain price during a certain period of time or under certain conditions. Why they offer this employee stock option? Because they want to get better level of engagement. So now the employee would think that they are not working for someone else, but they are working for their own organization. So they would create more positive feedback or positive attitudes among the employees who own a stock in the organization. So that would be the end of this particular chapter, and I reckon you need to go back on the video, because when we talk about the motivational theories, sometimes it is a little bit complicated. So you need to look back into all of the slides and then try to look back into the videos. And if you don't understand, go back to the textbook and jot down any of the questions that you need to ask me. You can ask me in the iDiscuss, or you can text me in the group, and then we will try to address your concerns immediately, inshallah. Okay, so all the best.